everybody. Welcome. Thank you so much for joining today. So, I am Carrie. My husband Dale and I are the creators of the Seed to Spoon app, hopefully, that you all know and love. And I am lucky to be joined today with Edvin from Smart Pots.
Hi,
So,
everybody.
welcome,
Nice to be
Edvin.
here. Thank you, Carrie. Happy to be here.
So, it's kind of funny because Dale and I live in Oklahoma City and we started gardening like back about like 10 years ago or so. And we had to learn everything from scratch because neither one of us really had a background at all in gardening. And along the way, it was right away that we learned about smart pots and we found out that they were actually created here in Oklahoma City also. So it was really fun to like get connected with smart pots and it's exciting. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I started here like a couple of years ago at Smart Pot, and the only gardening I had done was just with my parents in the backyard, and I was like, well, I think I need to learn a little bit more about gardening, especially since Smart Pot we're a gardening oriented company. So, yeah, I looked up gardening in Oklahoma City, and Carrie and Dale from Seed to Spoon showed up, and they're my type of people. They were just backyard gardeners and doing it themselves, and they turned their whole at the time when you guys first started turned their whole suburban backyard into literally like a food forest, which was pretty cool. So I learned a lot of great tips from them. Luckily for me, a lot of the places they go and visit, like Minic Materials, they're actually local to me too, so super convenient for me. And so yeah, when I connect with them, I was like, yeah, we need to connect, and and it just happened they're already using SmartPods, so pretty cool. So
Yeah. Oh my gosh, we love our smart pots. So for those of you who aren't aware of like what smart pots are, so here, let me pull up a picture real quick because we'll talk about some here in a little bit too because they
there's
have a lot
one right
of
here in this
Oh
picture.
yeah.
There's an orange one. There's a blue one. Well, Carrie, the ones that Carrie have are beautiful to me because they actually have beautiful vegetables growing in them.
These
Um, yeah.
This one, I have a whole bunch. Yeah, I could probably pull up like a whole bunch of pictures here because most all of our backyard, even like the inside here of our sunroom, has a bunch of smart pots and stuff all throughout. So, yeah, I have a little bit everywhere. So, yeah, they're essentially they're fabric raised beds. They're super durable. I even have some like behind me too that are awesome and doing great. Like I have all sorts of things. So they work amazing. So if you haven't heard of them, check them out for sure because they're great.
Thank
Yes,
you.
I'm with you, Paige. I love all the unique colors that they have. They have like purple, blue, orange,
Yeah,
green,
yep, yep.
black.
Purple, blue, orange, green, natural, and black. And really, really quick tip. As many people might think, we've actually done tests on all the colors. And like traditionally we look at like a black pot. You think it's going to be hotter than like a natural. We've done tests on our fabric, so it is breathable and designed to breathe. So it has minimal effect. So when you're looking for smart pots on the Park Seed or from Seed to Spoon app, pick whatever color you like, whatever color will match your style and your home. The color has no effect. They're completely breathable and aerated, and they'll easily last 5, 10 years. They're made here in America, so have at it on the colors just like we did here. We change them out seasonally. So yeah.
Sonia says 75% of my total garden is in containers or smart pots. Yeah. I mean,
Nice. Thanks, Sunny.
that is pretty much mine as well too. Like pretty much everything is. Really quick, let's see. Harry Warp was asking, can you grow grapevine in a smart pot?
Yes,
And
Harry Warp, you
yeah,
definitely can.
I was
Yes.
gonna say I can take that. Like I actually just planted two grapevines myself
Ooh.
that I'm gonna grow over one of those arch trellises. And I did put it in a smart pot. I put it in like I think it was like a 20 gallon or so. I tried to
Yeah.
have it on the larger side so that way it had plenty of space to breathe and all of that.
Yeah, if you guys didn't know, actually, a lot of funny things. But Carrie and I both went to OU, so University of Oklahoma here in Norman, Oklahoma. And one of the things that I like randomly before I even knew what smart pot head clipper growing was, at OU, I learned that, that actually Oklahoma has some great, actually has a climate that's good for growing grapes. And people
Yeah,
actually grow wine here in Norman and the
I
surrounding
know. That's
areas.
so cool.
Yeah, and so
Yeah, I've seen that too. I'm like, oh man, I need to try that. That's
yes,
sounds
I
super.
definitely want to. And Harry, they're perfect for that. Just because, great wines, you're going to have them there for many years. So you definitely want a container that's going to last, that's going to breathe, and that's going to be able to sustain a grape. So yeah, smart pots are perfect for that.
Okay, so really quick before we like get into all of this, so we do have a giveaway that we're going that I have not mentioned yet. So I popped a scroller down on the bottom, but all you need to do to be entered in to win is just simply comment in the chat and I mean let us know where you're gardening from, what type of space you're working with. If you have any questions, pop them in, and we'll pop things up as we go along too. And but each time you comment, you do get entered in to win our giveaway. And we are going to be doing a free 1 year premium Seed to Spoon app subscription. So with this, you can go through and log unlimited plants, pests, gardens. Like, I mean, you can do anything that you want, but you can also like take pictures, send it up to Growbot for health checks on your plants. Yeah. Plus, you get free shipping on all of your orders through Park Seed. So that is huge. And then also, Edvin, we're giving away a smart pot too.
Yes. So, and we were just talking about this right before the stream. For some of you Smart Pot OGs, and Carrie is definitely one of them. And we're going to be giving away one of what is it, the mini round raised beds.
Yes,
So formerly known as a mini round raised bed, which I think is a cool name. Today we call it the 24-inch wide round raised bed. A little bit easier to figure out the size. So that's one. If you follow us on social media, the same size that I did recently, the golf hitting mat. And I've also did some radishes, Carrie. If you remember, I messaged you a week ago that we
yeah,
overgrew some microgreen radishes. And honestly, I'm like, I didn't know radishes that big, but we have some huge radishes. I haven't picked them yet. I'm
nice.
like, I just go into the greenhouse and I water them, and I just haven't had time to pick them. But man, and it's a really, I forgot what the blend was, but it's a blend, and there's just so many different colors. So I'm excited to show you those radishes. So great size for that. So yes, so make sure you're checking in what grow zone you're in. So get entered in for that awesome giveaway.
Yeah, I did see there's one I was gonna pop up. So John, hi, welcome. Another one from Oklahoma City. That's funny. So he was saying he's lived here for 17 years, used the app for 6 of them, and never realized that we were neighbors.
Yeah, from seed to spoon, is a Oklahoma born company.
Yes.
OKC.
Yep. There we are. Yep. I mean, all these pictures right here. Like this is our backyard. Well, this was our older backyard. We have moved, but I mean, we still live in Oklahoma City. Just we have a bigger yard now. Like so, that's where this one right here is taken. So this is at our current property here, but still Oklahoma City.
Yeah, and if you
We
guys
needed more
didn't know,
space. We ran out of space in that backyard.
yeah, literally, I know, and I don't know if you have the picture of your guys' with the trailer with the smart pots in the back. That's like my favorite one.
Oh
It's like the
yes,
funniest thing. You
I
literally
do
moved your
actually.
whole
It's right
garden.
here.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, whenever we moved from that neighborhood, we literally did like pack up all of our plants and everything, hop them into our smart pots and moved it. I mean, that is the beauty of container gardening, right everybody? Like do it. Okay. Let's see. Oh, and also about the giveaway too. So we do a giveaway like this each week. So I go live every Tuesday, same time, same place. And I do feel bad because like some people have to work or aren't able to join us for some reason or another. And I want everybody to be included in the giveaway. So after this goes in posts, I have you guys like if you guys don't win, pop into the chat and comment again and you'll get entered in again. And I do another drawing for last week, another one. And I did that actually right before this live stream. So I do have a winner from last week as well. Congratulations to John Danowich. So send me an email at info@seedtospoon.net and I will get you all hooked up with your giveaway from last week too. But we will be doing a giveaway here at the very end of today, as well as next week as well too. So okay, I like this. Yeah, same seed time, same seed channel. Yep. Okay. So, I mean, I had to do this. Like, I mean, literally, you can grow anywhere and do anything with container gardening. And I put like the sky is the limit, quite literally, because you can grow vertically, you can grow up like as high as you can go. um, so I mean, quite literally, like the sky is the limit here on container gardening and things that you can do with smart pots and with like green stock towers and with there's so many different options and things that are available for everybody out there. We're going to be talking about a lot of things, but I definitely like I want to encourage all of you out there, no matter how small of a space that you have out there, there's something you can do. I know even if you are in like a an apartment, like I still like I have things growing right here on my windowsill. I mean, you can grow things over the back ledge if you have like a deck or a patio, all of that too. So, first of all, let's talk about just briefly about some of the best plants that you can grow in small spaces. And again, I do want to say the sky is the limit here. So, there are so many different things. Pretty much everything you can grow in a small space. I mean, wouldn't you say so, Edvin? Like, I mean,
Yeah,
most,
and I know you're gonna talk about them, but I think like ever since I heard of what like a microgreen is, and like you, and probably was one of your, probably one of your videos, and you taught about like how easy it is to grow because I hadn't like microgreens, I hadn't like known about. I mean, the only I had known about them was like just at like you go to a nice grocery store like Sprouts or Trader Joe's, and they're usually like a high dollar item. They're like they put them in little containers and they're $15, or like I'm sorry, like $7, for a container, depending on the size. And you're like, you just don't know, but little do you know you can grow it like you said on a windowsill in like 10 days. So
yeah,
literally
it's
any
amazing.
space.
Yeah, I know. It is quite literal. Like there's anything. Like somebody can grow something anywhere. But so some of the things that you can do in small pit spaces, like things that actually do really like containers and things like that, you'd be surprised about. And there's a lot of unique and fun varieties too that Park Seed carries that I am a huge fan of. I have several growing right behind me too. But the first one might surprise you because there are little tiny kitchen mini potatoes. Oh my gosh, tomatoes. um,
Potato, tomato.
I know. um, so I mean, there's something like so we'll talk about like container sizes and stuff like that later on, but with like little tiny little bitty tomatoes like this, you don't need more than like a 1 gallon size pot, or you can pop them in like I have a picture of a green stock growing tower right there in the center. I have some of these tomatoes actually growing inside of those too. Um, so you would be surprised. But even like other traditional tomatoes, like pretty much all of my tomatoes are planted in smart pots. Like they just tend to do a whole lot better. They like I like to for like the full varieties, I give them a little bit larger of a smart pot. Obviously, I'm not giving them a little tiny one, but there's a lot of really unique and fun varieties, especially at like Park Seed. There's so many little unique varieties too. Another one I want to call out is peppers. So there are these kitchen mini peppers too that again they get like a foot, maybe two tall, like very small, compact, and they don't grow large at all. Like again, I have several of them growing right now in one of my green stock. I have one growing back here. This one right here is a little kitchen mini pepper. So you can grow like even peppers in like a small space. But that being said, like there are other ones too. I want to pull up this pot of pinot. We have this growing too. I'm loving
That's a
it.
funny name.
I know, I love it. It's like the perfect name too. So yeah, this Potapino variety is super fun, and I love it. But I have that one growing out here on my sunroom actually in a container, and it's growing in probably I think it's like a five. It's like a 3 or 5 gallon smart pot that I have it in. So again, like there's sizes, like there's varieties of plants that are great and like made for tiny spaces.
Yeah, the
Um,
kitchen minis are amazing. I know we've talked about it before, but Dale, a couple years ago, we went to that Cultivate trade show, and kitchen minis. It seems like every year they come out with like a new variety. I don't know if you mentioned the bonsai basil, but whoever thought about growing or
yeah.
like literally coming up with miniature size vegetables is amazing. Yeah, the bonsai basil. I think somebody in the comments was saying that they were just did a bonsai tree. If you like bonsai and like small stuff like this, definitely check them out. I mean, it's just having a whole little garden of these is just something. It's just amazing. So there's something satisfying about them. They're awesome.
Oh, I agree. Yes, they're so fun. Like I have mine growing right here, and it just it smells so good too. I love my bonsai basil. It's so nice. One other like specific variety I did want to call out is again, it's a kitchen mini variety, but it is this kitchen mini
Yes.
cucumber. And I have a picture of it actually up there at the very top of this slide for it being actually in a hanging pot. And oh man, like it's so cool. It gives you like little tiny cucumbers. It's very small, compact plant. Like it's definitely a fun thing to be able to grow cucumbers like indoors too, because this is like it is bred to be indoors too, and like it's yeah, it's pretty great. Okay. And then of course, like lettuce and things like that are really good for smaller spaces and containers. And I get the question a lot too. I don't have a picture of it on here, but I do get the question all the time about if people can grow carrots or radish, like things like that. And I always say yes, yes, absolutely. Like grow them as long as your pot or container or whatever is large enough to support that. I mean, and it should be. So that's, I love to grow them. But there's also like specific varieties that you can grow. Like little finger carrots are another really good one. That's just not quite, it's like half carrot. So they have little fingers. um, but yeah, those are all really good options. And of course, like flowers are always really good. And herbs are another amazing container because I
Mhm.
mean, a lot of the time, like specific herbs don't love to be watered as much as your other plants in your garden do. So putting them in a container is actually really helpful in helping them out. So I always encourage everybody to put herbs in containers, no matter what.
Yeah, and I mean, just having it more accessible, you'll definitely want to be using it more when you're cooking. You'll be more encouraged. I was just we were at my parents' house over the weekend, and it just has like a little pot of cilantro growing like right outside her back on her porch, and it's just like so easy for her as she's cooking. She's like, "Oh, I need some cilantro." Just go out and it just adds that extra to the cooking, so it's really nice.
Yeah, yeah. I wanted to call out this. So Lauren was saying, are any of these possible to grow indoors? Yes, like every single one of them that we talked about. Pretty much. I mean, yeah, all of these can be grown indoors, and the tomatoes and the peppers even and the cucumbers, like all of those specific varieties especially are the kitchen minis. They're designed to actually be grown indoors, and you can grow them year round, which is exciting. But absolutely, yes, I grow lettuce sometimes. I do herbs inside. Like you can do all of that indoors. So absolutely, I love where you're thinking.
Sandy saying that she's excited about watching 'cause she was stumped on what to grow on her new green stalk. And definitely you're in the right place, Sandy, because Carrie, I mean, her green stalks are always really beautiful. They're full,
Oh,
they're always blooming. I mean, you always have food growing in them every time I go over, and it's like, I don't know, they're amazing. So definitely, Sandy, um, ask Carrie for some tips on what to grow because she definitely knows what she's doing in the green stalks.
yes, I will. I will get to them here in a minute. I sorry, I saw that somebody was asking about the. Sorry, I'm trying to get a link for the carrots because somebody was asking about that for like the miniature carrots. I'm pulling it in right now. I'm trying.
Jujubing, I think for everything that we talk about here, you can find on the Seed to Spoon app. So you can order it from there, or the Park Seed. That's probably correct, Carrie? You
I'm
guys
sorry.
have green stocks there?
Yes, we do. Yeah,
She was
actually, I
asking where we can order from. Everything that we see here, Carrie has QR codes that you can scan right there, or you can look it up on their website or straight on the app.
here I can pop up here. I'll show these carrots real quick. So this is the link because we had a question about the link for the little finger carrots. So this is the little finger carrots. They grow like they're smaller than the standard carrots, and they will grow faster for you too, but they're also better for like a smaller container or even a green stock even too, which is great.
Yeah,
Uh,
Angel, the kitchen minis, everything's available at the Park Seed website. They have all the varieties, and I think, like I said, I think the cucumbers is new for this year. So I'm already looking forward to July for cultivate to see if they come up with a for new variety, what it will be for this year.
Okay, I popped up the link for Greenstock. I'll pop them up later too, because we are going to go more in depth too on like each area and like way you can grow and all of that. And yeah, so I did see a few questions as I'm going through. I know you guys have a lot of questions and it's amazing. I'm trying hard to get all of them answered. And then also like I do know I have a few of your questions answers coming up soon. So don't worry. I got you. I got you covered. Um so again, so choosing the correct container size. I saw somebody asking about like what's the best one for herbs, and it's really again going to kind of just depend on like what variety, what type you have. I have this basil back here growing in a 1 gallon, so I mean it's really going to be like again like the environment too. So the essentially the larger the container you have, the more room for error you have too. So if it is a like it's super hot and you forgot to go out and water in a day or something, it's not going to just poof die on you. You have a little wiggle room, you know. So whenever I'm in doubt, I try to opt up if I have the space. But that being said, you do not have to do that. Like I mean, it does just fine in a little tiny 1 gallon pot. So but yeah, so the smaller ones really good for things like herbs and the lettuce and the smaller flowers, even things like those carrots we talked about, the radish. Even if you're doing just like singular strawberries, like a couple strawberry plants and things like that, all of those are really good. And then as it starts to get bigger, obviously, like your bigger plants. So things like tomatoes and peppers, eggplants, cucumbers, bush beans. I mean, quite literally, again, the sky's the limit. I think that's going to be my calling today. I'm going to say that multiple times probably, but it really is like you put pretty much anything into a container. So, um, and that being
Yeah.
said, like on here, I mean, I say tomatoes for a large container, but again, there's those varieties that are like the little tiny miniature varieties that you can grow and you can get away with a 1 gallon smart pot. So yeah, just kind of knowing what specific varieties you have. But this is a really good just like in general. So like the typical tomato, you will want a larger container. So hopefully that's helpful. Okay, I saw a few questions coming about soil, so I knew that this one was coming up. So okay. So, yes, I put on here soil does matter. Like, soil is huge because that is essentially what is feeding your entire plant. So, make sure that you start your seeds or your transplants off the right way. Um, so, my favorite way to go through and create soil for containers is by making it myself. I like to do a mixture that's called Mel's Mix from Square Foot Gardening. I'm a huge fan of, well, of square foot gardening in general, but also just of that soil mix because it always works really well. And it does amazing in containers too. Because it has, so what it is it is equal parts of three things. It is compost, vermiculite, and then coconut coir. So you mix all those up, and there you go. You have a beautiful mix that looks gorgeous. Um, Compost is probably going to be the most important thing for your soil, just because that's what is feeding your plant. So I essentially like don't have to do a ton of fertilizing because we add in like really good strong compost. If you are local in the Oklahoma area, I love going to Minnick Materials. They have amazing compost. I've had great success with their mixtures. I love their zoo poo, especially. I'm going to call out that one. That one's my favorite. But they also have like the dark forest. Like they have all sorts of like really good compost that I've tested all of them out, and I love them also. Um, I would just recommend finding a local place that actually makes it instead of buying like bags of it from like a big box store. Because in general, that's going to be like bagged sitting on their shelf for a while. It's not going to do as good for you. So that's what I would recommend if it's possible. So Sandy says, can you use black cow compost and manure? Yeah, so I would recommend like get as many different types of compost as you can and mix it all together and have that be like your 1/3 mix. So I like having all sorts of different types of compost. So whenever I go to Minnick, I'm like, okay, give me a little bit of it all. And so that way I have a mixture of everything. And yeah, and then I am a huge fan of vermiculite. I'm always adding that in too. If you don't are unfamiliar with what vermiculite is, it's this little white, like looking like a rock thing right down there. Essentially, it just works like a little sponge, and it is holding water. It is retaining the water in your soil. This is really important for container gardening, especially because it will help to release some water when the soil gets a little bit dry. So that way, you hopefully won't have to water quite as much. So just keep that in mind. Like that is super helpful for your soil. And then of course like coconut coir, I really like having that. It gives a really good like sustenance and helps it drain really well. And it's a great mixture. Edvin, what do you like doing in your containers?
Definitely the Mel's mix. The one call out that I always remember that Dale always says is that there's vermiculite and perlite. This is where you kind of, if you're saving a couple bucks, definitely try to see if you can find the vermiculite. It's just a little bit denser. So if you're familiar, like when you're watering soil, sometimes if you get like a cheaper soil that has it'll have perlite or like that, those white little balls in there, and you'll notice when you water it, it just floats all the way to the top. It's kind of, you're not, you want it to be in the soil to actually aerate. Vermiculite, and it also absorbs some water, so whenever you actually water your soil, it actually, slowly releases water, acts like a sponge. So it's just that input that's slightly, I mean, it just does you a lot more work behind the scenes that you're
Yeah.
not noticing. So definitely go with the vermiculite if you can. It's just that ingredient that just makes soil a little bit better.
Yeah, agreed. And so if they didn't want to do make your own soil, what bagged soil do you recommend?
So I really like the Black Bear mix.
Yeah.
And I mean, full disclosure, they sent us, they're manufactured by Sungrow. And Sungrow, they graciously donated us a truckload of soil about a year ago. And they had four different other mixes. The raised bed mix is great. If you are doing like a large area, I'd definitely use their mix for the bottom layer. And then I would still add an organic compost. I mean, I mean, if you're somebody who you have to go get, bagged soil, I would go a little bit step. They have their black bear mix, which is made with their biochar. It's just a little bit lighter. The
I
biochar,
really like that one, yeah.
yes, the biochar, much like vermiculite, has a very big surface area. So my understanding is that it works like a sponge. So if you're somebody who likes to use like fish fertilizers or compost, all those nutrients get absorbed in all those like microscopic holes. And then as the biochar, which is like burnt wood, as it decomposes in your soil, it actually works as a slow release to release those fertilizers. So any fertilizer you're putting in your soil gets absorbed by your plant. And I mean, we've been using it for about a year. And I mean, everything that I've planted in it does amazing. I mean, I've started tomatoes, I've done, like indeterminate tomato cuttings and just rooted it directly in it. I've done house plants. So that's my favorite. But yeah, I mean, also, but there's just no beating organic compost made locally, honestly. And if you have trouble finding it, look up your county's local ag extension. I love that call out because those people there, who are there, they're there to help you, and they really want their neighbors to call in and ask questions about gardening because they're just full of information, and they'll usually have all of the local areas mapped out already. And so you give them your address, and they'll probably print you out some MapQuest directions there. But yeah, organic compost locally is the best, and it's usually the cheapest. So that's another thing. And I know Dale is like me, and if you can save a couple bucks by renting a $20 U-Haul trailer, you can get a yard of compost. I mean, when we lived in Midwest City, Oklahoma. Midwest City actually has at their trash facility, so at the facility where all the trash locally gets collected, they actually had a program where they had compost. So they would take like the bark chips from like the parks and from whenever we have storms like every single year. All that stuff gets like put together, and then all the recycled food that they get, they make a granite compost. So for literally $20, you can get a yard of compost. And I mean, for us, I mean that when we lived there, that was enough to fill like four 12-foot raised beds. So I mean, a yard is a ton of soil.
Well, I
So
will
it's just
say too, like at least for places I've been to, you can just take a tote with you too, and just
yeah,
fill up that tote, and you can get it that way as well too. So it's yeah,
yeah,
I'm
many
always a
convenient
fan of
ways.
trying to do things the cheapest way possible instead of going and like buying bagged compost and things like that.
Yeah, like the bag stuff, like if you go to like a Lowe's or Home Depot, a lot of what they're charging is, the convenience of it being in a bag. A lot of that stuff is just super low quality. It comes from, a lot of times it comes from either the East Coast or the West Coast, is where a lot of big soil manufacture gets made, and they're shipped inwards, and it's just you don't know if it's from last year. A lot of those, 5 bags for $10, it's because they got to get rid of the stock from last year because they have another stock, and all those nutrients get cooked, and that's just not the best way, which sucks because a lot of gardeners, they go in, they're excited, they want to start a brand new garden, and you wonder why, and then you add unnecessary fertilizers. So if you can, stick to local soil. Um, so. Yeah. Soil
Agree. So
matters. Soil, I think, is the most important part. And I think I've
it
definitely learned
is.
that from Dale and Carrie. If you're growing soil, if your soil looks healthy, you can literally throw anything in it, and it will grow.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. That I mean, honestly, like all the problems will start in the soil if there's if yeah. Lauren was asking thoughts on peat moss. So and I see somebody already kind of answered it over here too. So Little Wonder was saying, yeah, so is it peat moss? So this is essentially it. So peat moss does exactly the same thing that cocoa coir does. It does exactly the same. So it is a replaceable thing. So if you can't find coconut coir, or if you would rather use peat moss, you can replace it with that. But it is true that peat moss is not a renewable resource. It's not great for the environment. So we have like transferred over to majority of everything that we do now is with like the coconut coir. I tend to like they have a slightly different consistency too, and I'm a little bit more of a fan of the coconut coir anyways. So yeah,
Yep.
hopefully that
Bam Marie is asking about does she need to use compost if you use wood ash? And I think wood ash may be a little slightly acidic, but you don't want to just use wood ash. The compost is what's full of the nutrients and what will be released and what will actually give the plant food. Like the vermiculite and the perlite and stuff like that, that's just substance. So your compost doesn't get super compact. And same with the coconut. It's just to add aeration into that. So like sand, people always say sand. I don't like to add sand unless you have like unless you're somebody who really needs to use it. But sand can get really compact. You so I would stay away from sand. Personally, I don't know how Carrie feels about that.
I mean, we've done it before in the past, but we've never really had great luck with it. So I typically stay away from it. Um, yeah, I see a lot of questions about like different fertilizers and things like that. I mean, this is a great additive, but I wouldn't just singular have it by itself, if that makes sense. So, I mean, it is a great option and something to add, but I would also try to do like additional extra things too. And when in doubt, like, I mean, if you don't, like, if you feel like you need to supplement the soil with some like fertilizers or things like that, like I do fertilizers still too, even though like my soil, like it still like looks really good, I think. Cause I make all my own. I try really hard to make at least a significant amount of it, but, I still go through and I will use like the espoma, like tomato tone, especially on like my tomatoes and peppers. I use garden tone quite often on like different areas of like plants and things like that. So like I do use like extra fertilizers on top of this too. Um, so we had a question. So what do you recommend for clay soil? So, I mean, I'm going to
Compost.
say, well, yes, but I'm also just going to say container garden too.
Yeah,
Just
well,
like we
that too. I was
talked.
gonna say, I didn't want to say that. I was gonna say, well, I was thinking, I was like, well, if you have to use it, but it's like if you're like, 'cause I think of Oklahoma and I think of like, and I think clay soil. I hate red soil or that red clay because it's the worst and it gets on everything. So if you have to use that, use it. But if you don't, I mean,
Yeah.
compost or Mel's mix is, your container gardening is
My
gonna be much
soil, oh
better.
my gosh, you should have seen it before. Like whenever we first moved out here, it's like it is red, cracking. Like I mean, like nothing would grow in it. Like we had like
Never
some
been
weeds.
to Mars, but that's probably what Mars. It's probably transported from Mars.
But yes, I mean, that being said, like you can go through and like try to work in as much like compost as you can. Try to, I mean, I would essentially like try to build in all of these materials too. I mean, you won't necessarily need to do a whole bunch of vermiculite if you're doing like in ground with the clay. But yeah, like try to mix in like some compost and some like coconut coir and things like that.
If you can find locally mushroom compost, locally we have a place, Fertile Ground, and I think Minic Materials said that they are starting to get some compost. That's the best I think I have done ever was when I used mushroom compost and I had mushrooms growing and I just tilled them in. Um, they just made my soil really really healthy. I mean, sometimes it's on the premium end. So what I did is I bought just like a small portion of it and I spread a whole layer on top of my whole garden, just as much as I could as a single layer, and that was enough to get it started. So you don't have to do too much all in one area. You can spread it out if you have to. And also, I like worm castings because like
Yes.
Daryl and Carrie say, you cannot add too much worm castings. And I'm
Yeah.
somebody who like I really like Carrie. I want to be able to just not first all when you go into like Home Depot, you have all these different, you have like blueberry fertilizer, you have tomato fertilizer, all these. If you look at the back, for the most part they're all the same, formulas, same chemicals. And so I personally would rather just stay easy. And worm castings, if you're somebody who's like, maybe you hear fertilizer and you start to maybe get overwhelmed. Worm castings you can add to every single gardening, even the indoors. They're great for like the kitchen minis. Worm castings, you can find them pretty cheap, and you can actually make your own. There's a ton of videos how to start your own worm garden if you have to. So stuff like that.
Yeah, and Cheryl was saying, can you just use the clay soil and then amend with other stuff for like a container? Yeah, and absolutely, like take some soil from the ground and then like add in stuff. Like that's essentially what you would be doing, like to break it up. So absolutely, give that a try. And then I saw Tanya was asking the best fertilizer for peach and apple trees. So I went and got a QR code here really quick. Let me pop that up. So I mean, I'm a huge fan of all of the espomas. I'm pretty sure at this point I don't use any other fertilizers. I'm trying to think if I do, but pretty much everything that I use is an espoma brand. I love all of their options. I'm a huge fan that they're all organic. I love all of the espoma. So there is an actual like fruit tree one, which I'm gonna have to get this too because we just got several new fruit trees that I'm probably gonna need to get this for too. So I'm glad you asked because I'm gonna need it too.
Yeah, I don't know if I told you, Carrie, but like, I brought in a plant like from home into the greenhouse, and it was like a rubber tree. And I guess at some point somebody had thrown like an avocado pit in there. So like we have an avocado tree that's probably like maybe 2 feet tall, growing in the
Oh,
greenhouse.
that's
And
so
I'm
cool.
looking at it and I'm like, okay, I'm probably gonna need to fertilize this. So I'm gonna have to get with you and figure out how we're gonna have to take care of this thing, because I want to have avocados growing in our Oklahoma City greenhouse. That would be amazing.
That would be so fun. I love that.
Yes.
Love that. Okay, I think we possibly hit all of the questions about soil, but like I said, if you guys have other questions, like feel free to pop them in the chat and we can come back to them too. So, um, but I do want to make sure we cover watering tips because this is something like real big that everybody's always asking, and it really depends on what type of container you have. I did see somebody asking in the very beginning to like if I preferred smart pots or like other regular containers, and absolutely like smart pots are like above and beyond, like way better than regular containers. I don't do anything in regular containers anymore. The first year or two, like we had several like containers on our porch and patio and things like that, but they just they dry out so much faster, and then once they hit the end they just start circling, like the roots just start circling, they get root bound, they don't do well, like they never thrive for me. So I highly recommend using smart pots or some other sort of like container option to try to be successful. um, and I did a few different options here for watering tips. So um, again, if you have like one of these like green stock vertical towers, like I have several of them in here, the very top of it right up here has just a water reservoir, so you quite literally just put water through and water the top. Now if I am like seed starting though in the green stock, I will go through and water like each pocket too that I have seed started in. But besides that, I'm quite literally just adding water to the top. I mean, that is the beauty of what makes these green stock towers so great, is that it just goes through and drips through each level and goes through and waters the soil on every level. So you don't have to go through and water everything. I mean, like I said, unless you are doing seed starting or anything like that. But um, and then smart pots, like some of the best tip ever. We actually got from somebody that worked at Smart Pots. I can't remember. It was like years and years ago. He was telling us, he's like, okay, now go get a kiddie pool at like your local like dollar store and fill it up with some water and pop some of your smart pots in there for the summertime. Like, so like if you're going on a trip or something like that, like pop in some water there, and they'll water it like it'll just water itself throughout the day, just soak up the water. I was like, that is brilliant. So I mean, we do love, like if we're gonna be out of town or if it's like an extremely hot day, this is an amazing use of a kiddie pool, is just fill it up with a little bit of water, pop in some smart pots, and it just soaks up the water. It's amazing.
Yeah, and if you're watching, you haven't started your gardening yet, definitely watering is probably one of the first things that I would look at. Find your spigot outside, or if you're at a well, figure out how long your hose is. because watering is the biggest thing. And if you can install some type of automated or drip irrigation, I know Dale and Carrie have a ton of videos on how to do it with PVC. So just figure out your watering first, because once it gets like, June, August, once, the weather that starts to hit triple digits, and you know that if you don't go water that today, tomorrow you might not have anything to water. So definitely figure that out. With smart pots, like Carrie said, the kiddie pool is an amazing way. If you need to go out for a couple days, just fill up your smart pots, and actually the capillary effect is what's gonna soak up the water. So that your plants, as they search, for roots for pore nutrients, they'll soak that up. Also, like we said, drip irrigation. So definitely, and there, I mean, I feel like those like automated watering has become like more accessible. I feel like those like tools like timers have become super cheap, like on Amazon, even at like, like a Walmart. And I feel like timers used to be like expensive, but like, for a couple bucks you can get yourself like an automated timer that just hooks up to like a ordinary hose spigot, and then you have your automated watering. So
Yeah, yeah. There's so many things. I mean, the most important thing is just make sure that your plants get watered. I mean,
yeah.
that's the biggest tip. I mean, if you need to go out there and run a sprinkler, do it. Like, your plants will need water. So, I mean, it may not be the best method out there, but your plants will get water. Like, that's the important thing here. And if you are going to do that, like, just make sure, try to do it in the morning instead of the evening to reduce risk of like powdery mildew and things like that. So, in general, too, like, that is when I try to water my containers is in the morning. So,
Real quick, Sunny earlier had a question. Does Smart Pot make any tray saucers that you can sit the Smart Pot in the bottom for watering? So yes, so the Smart Pots are completely aerated. That is by design, and it is, to help, like Carrie was saying, the roots from circling and from growing in a natural, fibrous root way. So yes, if you have like a nice, like deck. Joshua was saying, will Smart Pots on a wood deck cause any issues? So yeah, so a majority of my smart pots, like on the far left picture of the Carrie has, are all in a plastic saucer, and I have a deep saucer because I bottom water. But yes, so you want to protect them on the bottom. So like if you're on a wood deck, either like a tarp. Some people have found like pallets, just like something that can, protect your wood. That would definitely be great. Smart pots, you can sit them at any surface. You can grow like on, if you're like in an apartment building and you have a concrete balcony, you can set them on there. They're not going to hurt the smart pots, and then the concrete you can just wash away. Um, if you have the ability, the best place to put them is out on your grass directly on the ground. So what will happen is once your smart pot touches the ground, that intimate contact will actually help not only regulate temperature. So if the air temperature is 100 degrees, the ground is cooler, and also your roots will actually go and dig in, and you'll be able to grab nutrients, water, and also temperature. So if you can, just set them out there, on the grass. But if you're like have something you need to protect, definitely like a saucer or a tray. Um, those roller trays that are designed for like, those like either like a plastic, like a decorative pots, you can set the smart pots directly on there, and that works as well.
awesome. So I was gonna say let's we can go through and talk just a few of the options that are out there for if you have like a smaller space area and you're wanting to grow, but maybe you don't really have the space to do it. I have like these are both pictures of this is two of my green stalk towers that I have. I'm a huge fan. I have like four of them in here now. Yeah, I have a problem probably. But I do love I love gardening in general. So I grow like everything. I grow too much of everything. But I use them for lettuce, strawberries. I have flowers. I have mint growing in this one of them right here just because it doesn't get a whole lot of sun. I'm like, I want mint and it smells good and it's supposed to repel mice. So I'm like, I'm gonna put it right here, right by my front door.
Yeah,
So like, I
growing
mean,
too much food. I don't think anybody will say that's a problem.
yeah, and I was talking earlier, like you can really do like tomatoes and peppers and little. plants. Like people grow like all sorts of things in here. Like I'm actually going to be growing like beans and things like that this year because I'm going to try that out. I haven't personally done it, but I see like everybody's talking about doing that. I'm like, okay, I got to try it, and yeah, I'm going to try it and see how it goes. But yeah, there's so many different things you can grow in them. I have one tower that's just completely filled with chives too because we use chives in like so many of our recipes. Like it's one of the easiest things we can go and add into the kitchen. So we have that just like right there. We can just go out there, go cut some chives, and yeah, it's amazing.
Lim was asking, how do you protect the critters in the towers by putting repelling plants in the bottom? And that's actually probably that's a really good idea, actually.
Yeah, well, I will say yeah because I did the mint on the bottom of one of them too. But in general, I haven't really had any issues at all with critters or any issues with I mean, the worst issues I've had is getting things like aphids on my on that. But I mean, there's no getting away with
Those are
that.
inevitable. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. But besides that, yeah, I've never really had any sort of critter problem. Now that being said, like I do have most of mine like elevated a little bit, like you can see on the ground. I have them on like the little wheelies so that I can turn and rotate them easily, so that way they get like equal sun and all of that. So I definitely do that. But like I said, if you are worried about it, or if you're in a place that does that, like put things on the bottom that maybe the like mice and rabbits and things like that wouldn't quite be as attracted to. So maybe try some mint, just like I did. So I have the bottom two layers of this one over here with some mint. So two different types. I was like, ooh. Okay, I had to bring up these because these are so unique. I love these. So these are the wallflowers. Now this picture is not mine. I wish it was because that is pretty cool, but I don't have a fence like this anymore. But I thought that this was such a cool picture that Edvin sent over. I was like, this is cool. Like it's such a unique way to use a fence line too. Like there's so many things. Like I actually have this built because I have a wooden raised bed too, like in my sunroom. And I have these wallflowers. I think I popped a picture of it up earlier. Yeah, right here. Um, oh, this is kind of hiding it. You can kind of see them here on the bottom. So like this is my wooden raised bed that's in the sunroom, and I have just these little wallflowers there, just sitting along the sides. Like they're essentially just like screwed into the side of the container. I mean, the sky is the limit here with all of these. It's so fun. Yeah, yeah, I love them.
Yes, these are great if you're in an apartment again and you have like a metal railing. We actually make the wall saddles that actually will sit on a railing just like that. These are perfect for herbs. I mean, if you're somebody who like you literally go and you get the containers of herbs, stop doing that and then just
Oh
go to Park Seed, get some herbs. Like literally a packet of herbs is gonna last you like probably over a year. I mean, you're gonna have some for forever, and you'll be able to grow them. I mean, they grow in like a month, 2 months. All you gotta do is just water it, once or twice a day, and they look super amazing. I mean, I know. I mean, if you're somebody who lives in an apartment, be able to see your balcony and just to see some green growing, um, it's pretty unique.
yeah, yeah. Again, like there really is something for everybody. And this is probably my favorite slide right here is talking about the hanging baskets. Now, before Smart Pots came out with these no cocoa liners for hanging baskets, like I was literally going and buying those liners, like the cocoa fabric ones, every season. And then halfway through, it's like ripping and coming apart and looking yucky. And I'm like, I hated them, but I loved hanging baskets. So I am so happy that you came out with these because these are probably my favorite thing ever. I love them. I have so many hanging baskets now with these in them, and it looks so much better. Plus, it's so much better for my plants too. It's yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and really quick, okay, yeah, these are I don't I can't talk about these because these are my like unspoken favorite one. But like I've gone to okay, so I went to like a nursery here, and I'm noticing that like hanging baskets are becoming popular, and like like nurseries are putting like vegetables in hanging baskets, but like
Yeah.
charging a super premium. I saw like $40 for like a tomato just because it was in a hanging basket. And it's like you guys can literally just get you a cherry vining tomato, and then like you can put like one, two seeds in there and a hanging basket. And I mean, our fabric, it's made in US. I mean, this will literally last you 10 years. I mean, I think Carrie is like on her third season now on since she's discovered them. And like
Yeah.
lettuces, like in this picture, you can do. I think what did I do? Those snow peas, which I had my first time doing them, and like that was my first time. This season was my first time actually like just grabbing them off the vine, and it's like literally just like candy. And I was like, okay, now I see what Dale and Carrie are talking about. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, snow white peas. If you guys haven't tried them, definitely try them out. Do them for like the fall because I mine have died out in the greenhouse because it's gotten too hot now. But yeah, definitely those snow peas are amazing, and they do great in the hanging baskets.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, it's just something unique and fun that you can grow in and use all of the space that you have available to you. Like it's yeah, it's amazing. And then of course, like I mean, regular smart pots, they have like smart pots has everything from well, I don't even know, like one
One to a
gallon all the way
thousand
up to
gallon.
like 1,000 gallons now. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Um,
just posted a reel. There's a grower in down in Homestead, Florida. He grows in like 600 gallons. He does like those African biome trees. So yeah, any size you need.
yeah, but like I said, like I use these all the time. I'm a huge fan too. I wish I should have gotten a link for these, but like this picture right here is actually just one smart pot. It's called their long raised bed, and it's perfect for going up against like a trellis or against a fence line or something like that. Like it's really great use of space too. So I'm a huge fan of those. Oh, yep. That would be for this one then there. So this would be perfect for you, the long beds. So I will I here, I'll try to pull up a space. Let's see. Edvin, you want to talk about microgreens for a minute, and I'm going to pull up a link for
Yes.
this.
I mean, I love talking about, and I probably talk about it too much. But it's literally because, like, I mean, you go to a grocery store and I don't understand the premium of it because you can literally grow like too many microgreens, like easily. Like this tray that Carrie has here. I mean, if you were to retail that, that's probably be easily $100 or more, like of
Yeah, and it's
herbs,
so
and that
easy.
literally grew I think you grew that on the hemp mat. So like that hemp mat was probably, I mean, couple bucks, like $4 or $5, and then that's just water. You need no fertilizer. You just turn it on either in a grow light. If you don't have any windows, you can buy a cheap grow light. If you have a bright windowsill, you just sit it on your windowsill. On the in the picture on the left, those are 1 gallon smart pots that we roll down. Microgreens have very shallow roots, so maybe an inch of soil. So if you already have smart pots, if you have like a 1 gallon, two, 3 gallon, you can just roll it down all the way to about an inch or two, and then just bottom water. Microgreens prefer to be bottom watered. It also helps keep them from getting sick, and they'll just uptake the water that they need and literally water once a day. I've grown microgreens in like a small cup just in my office, like with just a cheap Amazon grow light. Microgreens are super easy to grow, so that's why if you buy microgreens, definitely go to Park Seed, whatever. If you like mustard microgreens, there's literally everything. The radishes, if you
Yeah.
ever grow radishes, like I said at the beginning, I mean, if you ever grow radish microgreens, they're just going to be huge, real radishes. So if you forget about them, then you'll just have big radishes. So they're super easy and fun.
Yeah, agreed. And it's something you can do in any sort of space. Like just a kitchen counter or a laundry room counter. I've grown them everywhere, I think. Um, and I think I pretty much already talked and covered all about my kitchen mini indoor options that you can have. But I did see that we were approaching time, so I want to make sure that we did our giveaway too, which is really exciting because we are going to be giving away a free 1 year premium Seed to Spoon app subscription along with the Smart Pot mini bed, the 24-inch one. Is that what you said? It's exciting.
Yes, the 24-inch round raised bed. That's perfect for literally every single variety that we talked about.
Yeah.
24 inches. You can grow. I mean, you can do patio tomatoes. You can do if if I won this and then I got free shipping from Parksea, what I would personally do is I would literally get one of each of the kitchen mini varieties. throw them all into the same round raised bed, and
Yeah.
just have a complete garden. You can literally grow this anywhere. So be sure you're commenting if you haven't yet. All you have to do is just comment any comment. And good luck to the person who wins this, because that's what I would do if I won.
Well, while you're talking, I did the drawing. So, congratulations here to Limb Burners 3384. Congratulations. You're a lucky winner. Send me an email at info@seedspoon.net and we'll get you all hooked up with your goodies. Congratulations.
That's awesome. Congrats.
Okay. Yeah, and like I said, I mean, I'm here at least every Tuesday, same time, same place. I have Edvin joining me, but if he's not on video, he's always in the chat hanging out too. Um, we have
Yep.
yeah. So, and if you like I said too, if you did not win and you want to win right now, after this post, go back in, leave a comment in, so that way you might win at the beginning of next week. Okay. Well, thank you all so much for joining, and we'll chat soon. See you, everybody.